different angle from my point, because I'm always so fascinated by the fact that Ruby Bridges is still very much alive and very, very well. She looks amazing. She's younger than my mother. And so to hear Black's history, a lot of time, or history in general, we feel ourselves more detached from it. And so I wanted to make it kind of from her perspective. So I listened to some interviews of what her experience was that day. I know we assumed she was afraid and sad, but she really wasn't. And I mean, I'm gonna let you go watch the interview yourself, but I was so impressed with what she said, and because she didn't understand what was going on, she was okay. And then I kept watching interview after interview, and she said, my innocence protected me. I was like, okay, so yeah, I need to write it this way. So here we go. Innocence protects. Little Jim up in Big Easy stepped into a parade of clowns tossing sustenance and strength in the air. There would be no need for a tear or whimper when Fat Tuesday moved to Monday in honor of a tested child granted the luxury of education all to herself. By Barbara Henry, teacher turned friend through safely solitary lunches and covert recesses. Al Butler, Charles Burks, Herschel Sullivan, William Guy, brilliant mind, guarded history that day. And on this one, the little lives, bright and beautiful as ever, a shining illustration of this is your time.
Yes, all right.
My point today, I have 2 points for you. This was a difficult one to write about, but I managed to pull something from it. The first one is called One Small Stance. Did she ever feel the word nigger being hurled at her? From the TV screen, you couldn't tell. She never flinched. How did all those monstrous faces appear to her? Yelling profanity, screaming in disdain? Were they ever truly seen to be? Or were they blacked out by the lenses of her purity? Each step she took, so fragile, so well planned, this little one's charge forward for equal rights, memorialized in her precious flames, all while small states. This one is called Walker Before. Walker. I hear him saying, bring forth your 341 years of the unspoken, of the unbroken, of the misfortune, and I shall reveal unto them. For there is no one that shall be left without the tokens of my love and divine favor. So bring her forth, and she shall be the symbol of what will be given to the unspoken, to the unbroken, to the misfortune. Let them behold what shall be shown amongst the virile masses. Freedom, freedom, freedom.
Yes.
Shiny black patent leather shoes, capped with bows, tiny white lace-top socks, neatly turned down. Special dress, crisply ironed, poof on point. Hair in that favorite style that Mama does, white bow holding it in place. So much care and love presenting this precious child to a world so cruel. 6-year-old Ruby Nell on a big assignment. Book satchel, almost her size, lovingly, excitedly packed, held proudly. Ruby's got work to do. Face determined, so much to gain or lose. Surrounded by tall white sentinels, still alone in her mission. The weight of a city squarely perched on her thin, courageous shoulders. No tears dropped from soft brown eyes as hate and ignorance saturated the air sharp as the stench of fresh skunk spray. Was this when she realized racism is a grown-up disease? Let's stop using our kids to spread it. My baby girl, will it be worth it to stain her life so irreparably to prove a point to a country that hates so completely? Based solely on 6 pounds of warm brown skin, her skin, 15% of her 42 pounds. Please, Lord, let her think the screams and chants mean it's Mardi Gras, not hateful slurs being hurled like jugglers' knives at her. Lord, my soul aches at what my little girl will endure each day. Acidic rage, arid loneliness, alienated lunch, play, learning. Dear Lord, will she forgive me someday for trying to see a bigger picture for her future? Will you, Lord?
Wrong voices tried to stop her. Hate tried to teach her its language. She answered with silence, with steps, with breath, with being there. A room emptied itself, a chair waited. She sat, and just like that, history learned how small courage can be and still move mountains. Love sent you forward, and this is, I wrote this from the eyes of a mother. Love sent you forward. I held your hand before the morning spoke. Your shoes too bright for streets so loud. You asked why people shouted. I said, some are afraid, and you believed me. I buttoned your coat with praying hands, wished fate could be thicker than fear. 4 men walked beside you, but it was you who carried history on small shoulders. I wanted to pull you back, to trade places, to be braver for you, but courage whispered, let her go. You walked past anger without knowing its name, toward a teacher waiting in an empty room. Each step widened tomorrow. Tonight, you will sleep, and the world will still be loud. But because of you, it has learned how love walks forward.
That's how I was trained at the Boston Girls Latin School. I guess my husband is to blame for bringing me to New Orleans, trailing me to William, France on the first day of school. I asked him, what do you think? I looked at the white mob outside the school who wanted to lynch a 6-year-old black girl and thought about that Latin school motto, duty first, honor always, self last. Inside, the previous teacher didn't want to teach Negroes. Other teachers refused. The classroom was stripped bare, reeked of years of apathy and arrogance. I walked from the first floor to the basement, and in the midst of 4 towering marshals grew a delicate flower in a pink party dress, lunchbox in hand. She had me the moment she raised her head, smiled, and those big brown eyes became mine. I became her math, art, gym, phonics, and music teacher, my everything. That same year, a life was growing inside of me, and my husband and I moved back to Boston. But if you need me to teach 1,000 kids or 1 black child, send me, I'll go.
All right now.
And this was inspired by a poem by Langston Hughes, I Too Sing America. So the 92. I Too Sing America, the laments of Langston, that I built out with pride, knowing this country could care less. No cliched stories of our beginnings, just this tapestry of shoulda, coulda, woulda. What's documented is skewed. What's written is banned or discredited. What streams dissipates into the murky abyss of ignorance, rancid with billionaires' smokescreens. Ida B. defiant, lynchings, shootings, disappearances that shifted a generation into fear. Integration that allowed us to arrive late, scrambling to catch up. A virus held 90 to 90 prove the state of our existence for posterity's sake. here I am, eating in the kitchen, choosing not to get fat. Written specifically for this occasion. And it was kind of inspired by an exchange that I had with my daughter a couple years ago. She also did a project on Ruby Bridges when she was a student in school in Humboldt. And she had a lot of questions afterwards. And she did a lot of research afterwards. And a lot of that research was extended because of some community activities that we were fortunate enough to attend. The contrast of two images viewed by two generations. Courage flanked in a white dress, freshly plaited braids, socks folded, shoes shined, books clenched in hand. Tinted skin rich with mahogany, the problem we all live with, exuding the boldness of a history maker. No time for tears, focused eyes hold pain locked in the mind of a child, walking there to ensure choice now, integrated. Tears wail, posterity kneeling. At the foot of Norman Rockwell, Taya, feeling the weight of Ruby's suffering, book selected at the Jackson State Community College Free Books event. Thank you.
Mobs ensued, attempting to block her from entering through the equal education door. She stepped into a first grade classroom where no one looked like her. From that day on, 6-year-old Ruby Bridges started her enlistment into war. Always on guard and under close protection, she was flanked by a U.S. Marshal Corps. Integration was at the center of what this brave little girl in Bobby size was fighting for.
All right.
From original footage that I found of Ruby Bridges' first day at her new school. So these are direct quotes and descriptions of what I saw. No, she yelled, holding a baby on her hip. We don't want the niggers going to school here. This is a white school. Why should our children have to suffer for one little nigger? One little nigger. Tell me that. Young mothers demanding their little boys repeat, we don't want no niggers in school with us. Smiling wives cheering, ushering black dolls in caskets. We're gonna poison her. We're gonna hang her. They got places for you. Matriarchs with tightly coiled hair, pointing, yelling, chanting, 2, 4, 6, 8. We don't want to integrate. These are your wives and mothers, your grandmothers, their mothers, whom you hold dear.
All right now.
She was a corundum in a conundrum, a gem of the movement, precious jewel of the moment. Her tiny black feet treading confidently, casting dark shadows over white steps. Regal, her ascent into hell, federally mandated. She marshaled onward, bravely carrying justice in a satchel. Again, I'm Bill Merrill, president of the Griot Collective.